Today on Inquirer, several areas placed under signal number 1 as Tropical Depression Amang continues to move towards Catanduanes. Department of Transportation approves fare hikes for LRT lines 1 and 2. Implementation deferred upon the order of President Bongbong Marcos. Meralco cuts electricity rate for April. And Philippines and U.S. kick off 2023 Balikatan Exercise. Good evening. Several areas are placed under tropical cyclone wind signal number 1 as Tropical Depression Amang maintains its strength and continues to move towards Catanduanes. Joining us live is Pagasa weather specialist Grace Castaneda. Grace?
Yes, magandang gabi po sa ating lahat. Si Bagyong Amang nga ay napanatili yung lakas nito habang kumikilos sa Kanluran, patungo pa rin dito sa area ng northern coast ng Catanduanes. At huli nga po itong namataan sa layong 250 kilometers silangan ng Daet, Camarines Norte. Taglay nito yung lakas ng hangin na 55 kilometers per hour malapit sa sentro at gusto ng hangin na umaabot sa 70 kilometers per hour. Ito nga po ay kumikilos pa din Kanluran sa bilis na 30 kilometers per hour at sa kasalukuyan meron tayo nakataas na tropical cyclone wind signal number 1 sa malaking bahagi yan ng southern Luzon, maging sa ilang bahagi din ng northern at central Luzon and sa may bahagi din ng Visayas. Partikular na nga po yan sa Catanduanes, Sorsogon, Albay, Camarines provinces, sa Quezon kasama na dyan ang Polillo Islands, sa bahagi din ng Marinduque, Ticao Islands at Burias Island, sa Rizal, Laguna, maging sa Aurora, Bulacan, Quirino, Nueva Vizcaya, Nueva Ecija at sa bahagi din ng Isabela, maging sa Northern Samar, Samar at Eastern Samar, kung saan yung mga areas po na nabanggit natin yan, makakaranasin ng mga malalakas na hangin na dulot ni Bagyong Amang, kung saan posible pong magdulot ito ng mga damages, lalong-lalo na sa mga structures na mga gawa sa light material. So pag-ingat po para sa ating mga kababayan. Samantala sa mga pag-ulan naman na dala ni Bagyong Amang, from this afternoon hanggang ngayong gabi, makakaranas ng mga malalakas na pag-ulan itong area ng Bicol Region at Northern Samar. And from this afternoon naman hanggang sa Thursday evening ay meron tayong mga matitinding pag-ulan na mararanasan sa northern portion ng Quezon, maging sa eastern portion ng Laguna, maging mga malalakas din ang pag-ulan sa Rizal, sa southern portion ng Aurora at sa nalalabing bahagi pa ng Laguna at Quezon. So paalala po sa mga kababayan natin dyan, mag-ingat at maging alert po dahil magiging mataas yung banta ng mga pagbaha at pagguho ng lupa. And also, ayon nga po din sa ating sa mga areas na to, no, sa mga areas na may nakataas tayong tropical wind signal number 1 ngayon, is posible din po sa mga succeeding na i-issue natin na bulletins ay magdadagdag pa po tayo ng mga areas under tropical cyclone wind signal number 1 din sa Central Luzon maging sa bahagi din ng Cagayan Valley. And also sa kasalukuyan din po meron tayong nakataas na gale warning sa eastern seaboard po yan ng southern Luzon, particular na sa Catanduanes, sa eastern coast ng Albay at Sorsogon, maging sa northern at eastern coast ng northern Samar, at sa eastern coast ng eastern Samar, kung saan mapanganib po yung pagpalaot, lalong-lalo na para sa ating mga kababayang mangingisda, pati na rin yung may mga maliliit na sasakyang panibagat. At ayon nga po no, sa ating latest forecast track analysis, itong si Bagyong Amang in the next 24 hours, generally patuloy po itong kikilos pa Kanluran or Hilagang Kanluran, patungo pa rin po dito sa area ng Bicol Region. Ngayon po yung araw at posible nga po itong mag-turn ng west-northwestward or northwestward throughout ng forecast period. So nakikita po natin ngayon no, dito sa ating forecast track analysis is babaybayin lamang nito ni Bagyong Amang yung silangang karagatan ng Luzon. Ngunit hindi po natin inaalis yung possibility na magkaroon pa rin tayo ng landfall scenario. Diyan po yan sa may Bicol Peninsula area. Posible po yan for the next 9 hours. So patuloy po tayo mag-antabay sa updates na ipapalabas ng Pagasa. And nakita din po natin throughout the forecast period ay posibleng si Bagyong Amang ay manatili po bilang isang tropical depression at posibleng humina ito into a low pressure area by late Thursday or early Friday. So muli po, pag-iingat po para sa ating mga kababayan.
Grace, nabanggit mo kanina doon sa report mo, no, na hindi natin inaalis yung posibilidad na ito ay mag-landfall, particularly in the Bicol region. Tama? So, ito bang bagyong ito inaasahan pa nating lalakas sa mga darating na araw?
Yes po, no, hindi nga po natin inaalis yung possibility na itong si Bagyong Amang ay mag-landfall dito sa may Bicol Peninsula area for the next 9 hours. But muli po, no, either mag-landfall siya or hindi, is magdudulot nga po ito ng mga pag-ulan sa malaking bahagi ng Southern Luzon, maging sa ilang areas din po ng Visayas, and also sa mga susunod na araw pa sa ilang bahagi din ng Central at Northern Luzon. And also meron nga din po ito mga dalang mga malalakas na hangin, gaya po nung sa mga nabanggit natin na areas under wind signal number 1.
Nabanggit mo na ito kanina, Grace, no? Pero gusto kong ulitin kasi itong medyo technical pa rin itong pinag-uusapan natin when we talk about tropical depression, signal number 1. Meron tayong mga kababayan na para sa kanila, pwedeng technical pa rin itong mga ganitong term. So let's talk about impact kasi yun yung talaga makaka-apekto sa ating mga kababayan. Kapag sinabi natin ng isang bagyo ay nasa tropical depression category, ano yung inaasahan natin na impact nito sa ating mga kababayan?
Kapag ang bagyo po natin ay nasa tropical depression category, ang mga mararanasan po natin is mga malalakas na hangin na maaari nga po magkaroon ng minimal to minor threat po sa mga property natin. Ito po yung mga malalakas na hangin na to, ay bagamat hindi po siya ganun ka-destructive, but posible pa rin po ito magdulot nga ng mga minimal to minor na damages, lalong-lalo na po yan dun sa mga structures natin na gawa sa light materials. Kaya pag-iingat pa rin po, no, para sa ating mga kababayan, and also yung mga pag-ulan din po na ating mararanasan na dulot ni Bagyong Amang, lalong-lalo na dun sa mga flash floods and landslide prone areas, pati po yung mga areas na patuloy na nakakaranas ng mga pag-ulan, is pag-iingat po dahil magiging mataas na yung banta ng mga pagbaha at pagguho ng lupa.
Grace, napansin ko din doon sa ating latest information regarding this. May mga ilang lugar sa Southern Luzon na kasama na doon sa signal number 1. So, inaasahan ba natin na itong bagyong ito ay aabot sa Metro Manila, yung impact, kumbaga, o epekto nitong bagyong ito? Aabot ba ito sa Metro Manila?
So may kita po natin no, marami na or malaking area na po ng Southern Luzon, yung nakita po natin na under wind signal number 1. And sa mga susunod na araw po, possible by Thursday or Wednesday ng gabi, posible pong mahagip itong area ng Metro Manila. Kung titignan po natin yan dito sa ating cone of probability, hindi po natin inaalis yung possibility na ang area po ng Metro Manila is makaranas din ng mga pag-ulan sa mga susunod na araw na dulot nga po nito ni Bagyong Amang.
Importante pa rin, Grace, no, na itong ating mga kababayan would stay updated dito sa ating sitwasyon. Maraming salamat, Grace. That's Pagasa Weather Specialist, Grace Castaneda. The unemployment rate in the Philippines remained at 4.8% in February, according to preliminary data at the Philippine Statistics Authority. According to the PSA, in February, there were 2.47 million Filipinos who were available for work but had no jobs nor business. This figure is higher than the 2.37 million jobless Filipinos recorded in January. Nonetheless, jobless rate for both months was at 4.8%. In February, the number of employed Filipinos was estimated at 48.80 million, higher than 47.35 million employed persons in January. Despite this, the country's employment rate in February remained at its previous month's rate of 95.2%. Meanwhile, the number of Filipinos 15 years old and above who are participating in the labor market in February was at 51.27 million. February's figure is higher than January's 49.72 million Filipinos. The Philippine National Police Drug Enforcement Group Director heeds the call to take a leave of absence, even after saying there was no attempt to cover up the arrest of a police officer tagged in illegal drugs last year. Faith Argusino reports.
PDEG Director Police Brigadier General Narciso Domingo assures there was no cover-up in the illegal drug case of dismissed Police Master Sergeant Rodolfo Mayo involving 990 kilograms of confiscated shabu. But Domingo says he will comply with the order of Interior Secretary Benhur Abalos to file a leave of absence to give way to the investigation. Earlier, the Department of Interior and Local Government released CCTV footage of Mayo's arrest by several officers. Instead of leaving immediately, handcuffed Mayo and police entered a nearby building multiple times, transferring bags and luggage to various vehicles. According to Domingo, after the cases were filed against the suspects, PDEG's team assigned to Mayo's case conducted a counterintelligence operation by backtracking CCTV footage at the crime scene. Domingo says they reported this to the PNP and its command group, hence the creation of a Special Investigation Task Group 990. Domingo says that then PNP Deputy Chief for Operations Police Lieutenant General Benjamin Santos personally directed him to back off from the case's investigation since police officers under him were involved. The PDEG director stresses that despite the minor lapses on their part during actual operations, the fact remains that they seized the 990 kilograms of shabu and had it destroyed by the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency last March 16. This is Faith Argusino, reporting for INQUIRER.net.
The Department of Transportation approves the fare hike for LRT Lines 1 and LRT 2, but President Bongbong Marcos has instructed to defer its implementation. Zakarian Sarao has the report.
The Department of Transportation on Tuesday approved a 2.29 peso fare hike for the boarding fares of LRT 1 and 2, as well as a 21 centavo increase to the rail line's distance fare. However, Transportation Secretary Jaime Bautista said that the implementation of the fare increases had been deferred, pending a thorough study on the economic impact to commuters per the instruction of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. When asked on how long the implementation will be postponed, Bautista said that it might take a few months as the DOTr will still have to discuss with the National Economic and Development Authority and the LRTA board. Based on the newly approved fare, the boarding fares for LRT 1 and 2 will increase to 13 pesos and 29 centavos, while the distance fare will increase to 1 peso and 21 centavos per kilometer. According to Bautista, these fare hikes will enable the rail lines to improve its services, facilities, and technical capabilities. This is Zakarian Sarao reporting for INQUIRER.net.
Next on Inquirer Today, Philippines and U.S. kick off 2023 Balikatan Exercise. Department of Budget and Management releases nearly 43 billion pesos for over 8.5 million senior citizens' health insurance. And Meralco cuts electricity rates for April. This is Inquirer Today. We'll be back shortly.
Si Tekla Tamoria from Pasig City. Graduate ako ng 2010 sa UP Diliman College of Fine Arts. Tapos nung 2014, nag-aral ako ng TESDA Garments. Doon ako natuto paano magtahi. From there, mula sa Fine Arts to pagtatahi, doon ko nag-start gumawa ng wearable art na mula sa mga retaso. In 2019, naisip ko, sige, parang gamit ako ng used clothes, t-shirt, cotton t-shirt, mangolekta ako sa mga kaibigan ko. Tapos yung binigay sa akin ng mga kaibigan ko, yun yung gagamitin kong medium to create another clothes. So, pinag-aralan ko yung paano maghabe, yung sa basahan, bakit pumutok sa mga Pilipino is yung familiarity ng basahan na ginagamit natin araw-araw. Matapos nun, pag nalaman pa nila na gawa to sa used t-shirt, which is isa sa pinaka-common na damit natin, di ba? To the point na dinidisregard natin at pinagamit nating basahan. ng mga nabibili natin, kunyari sa fast fashion, lahat ng mga yun, galing yun sa mga sweatshops, galing yun sa mga mananahe, yung mga binibili natin sa Tiangge, mga kaya nasa mall na, ano yan yung mga tao dyan, magtatahiyan, 5 piso, isa, or minimum wage with no benefits. Tapos hindi mo na rin maiisip na nakakatulong ka pala sa bad system ng fashion industry. So yung sustainability ng fashion sa akin, nag-start siya I think more than 10 years ago, nung naging aware ako sa apekto ng fast fashion sa mundo, yung pollution na nagagawa ng fabric waste. After nun, nung natuto ako nun, tapos nagtatahi rin ako, parang naging penitensya ko sa sarili ko na hindi ako bumili ng mga damit. So hanggang ngayon, mga hand-me-downs lang yung sinusuot ko. I think future is sustainable fashion. Hindi naman sa sinasabi ko na huwag kang pumorma kasi fulfilling din na ayusan ng sarili. Mas maging aware lang tayo na merong mga pamamaraan at mas maganda kapag hinahaluan mo ng sarili mong creativity. Kasi lahat naman tayo may clothes. Hindi naman ibig sabihin na parang nasuot mo na or parang hindi na siya uso. Parang tapos na yung story nun. Parang pwede mo siyang i-upcycle. Pwede mo siyang ipamigay.
The Philippines and the United States officially kick off the largest iteration so far of the Balikatan military exercise. The opening ceremony was held on Tuesday at the Armed Forces of the Philippines General Headquarters. The joint military exercise signals tighter defense cooperation amid China's increasing assertiveness in the South China Sea and toward Taiwan. The 18-day exercise between Manila and Washington will involve more than 17,000 troops, nearly double from last year's 9,000. It also stands out from previous exercises in terms of size and scope. Observers from other countries allied with the United States will also take part in this year's Balikatan. This year's Balikatan will include 4 major events: command post exercise, cyber defense exercise, field training exercise, and humanitarian civic assistance. Some of the drills set to be carried out for the first time include live fire training using Patriot missiles and Avengers air defense systems, both used by Ukraine to defend itself against Russia's invasion. The two allies will also sink a decommissioned 200-foot fishing vessel serving as a mock enemy ship in waters facing the West Philippine Sea of Zambales province. The Department of Budget and Management has released nearly 43 billion pesos to cover one-year health insurance premiums of senior citizens nationwide. DBM on Tuesday says its chief Amena Pangandaman has approved the release of a total of nearly 43 billion pesos for the health insurance premiums, which is expected to benefit over 8.5 million enrolled senior citizens. Under Republic Act No. 10645 or the Expanded Senior Citizens Act of 2010, all senior citizens shall be covered by the National Health Insurance Program of PhilHealth. DBM says funds necessary to ensure the enrollment of all senior citizens not currently covered by any existing category shall be sourced from the National Health Insurance Program from proceeds of Republic Act No. 10351 or the Sin Tax Law. Foreign Affairs Secretary Enrique Manalo says the United States and China should deal with their strategic rivalry through transparent and sincere engagement amid tensions over Taiwan. Manalo points out that the present and future ties between the global giants are crucial in defining regional peace and stability.
As responsible powers, each with a stake in the region's long-term peace and security, Washington and Beijing need to manage their strategic rivalry with dialogue, transparent, and sincere engagement where possible.
Manalo says that the Philippine government has always been very concerned should tensions between both superpowers escalate. The U.S. is among the biggest international backers of Taiwan, a self-ruled democracy being claimed by Beijing. Over the weekend, Beijing launched live fire drills around Taiwan as a, quote, stern warning following a meeting between Taiwan President Tsai Ing-wen and U.S. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy in California.
Any kind of escalation of tensions or even worse, some kind of a conflict, military conflict, would have really adverse repercussions on the Philippines. Of course, it would probably have repercussions on the entire region, but particularly the Philippines given our proximity.
Meralco power rates will decrease by around 12 centavos per kilowatt hour in April. This brings down a typical household's overall electricity rate to around 11 pesos and 32 centavos per kilowatt hour in April, from 11 pesos and 43 centavos per kilowatt hour in March. Residential customers consuming 200 kilowatt hours can expect a decrease of about 24 pesos in their total electricity bill. Meralco says lower electricity rates are due to lower generation and transmission charges. Generation charge is the cost of purchased power from suppliers and accounts for more than 50% of the total bill. Alamin naman natin ang mainit na balita sa mundo ng showbiz kasama si Ervin Santiago ng Bandera. Ervin?
Hi Neil at sa lahat ng mga kabandera natin all over the universe. Ito na nga ang latest Bandera Chika. Emosyonal na nagbahagi ang OPM icon at baladir na si Marco Sison tungkol sa biglaang pagpanaw ng kanyang apong si Andre Sison. Si Andre ang sparkle artist na namatay sa car accident nitong nagdaang March 24 kung saan dalawa pa sa kanyang mga kasamahan ang binawian din ng buhay. Nakatakda na sanang i-launch ng GMA7 ang 17 anyos na binata bilang pinakabagong miyembro ng Sparkle Talent Management, ngunit hindi na nga ito nangyari dahil sa naganap na aksidente. Sa press ko ng bagong concert ni Marco, ang The Class of OPM kasama sina Dulce, Ray Valera at ang dalawang miyembro ng Apo Hiking Society na sina Boboy Garovillo at Jim Paredes ay nagkwento siya about Andre. Halatang pinipigil ni Marco ang sarili na maiyak habang nagbabahagi ng mga naaalalang bonding moments nila noon ng kanyang apo. Nagtatanong ang seasoned OPM singer kung bakit nawala agad si Andre sa edad na 17 na talagang ikinashutdown ng kanilang pamilya.
It's not a normal thing, di ba? Siyempre, usually the parent moves on, di ba? First, not the kid, di ba? So, as a father, as worried to more, siyempre sa kay Aline. Yun lang, nangihinayang lang ako kasi sayang.
He sings so well po. I interviewed him
Oo.
last month.
Actually.
He sings so well. At kayo daw po isa sa mga kilala niya.
Oo. Lagi kong yan kabiruan sa messenger. Nung lumalaki na siya, humingi siya ng cellphone. Mahal pag humingi siya ng cellphone. Tapos, lagi niya sinasabi yung mas pogi raw siya sa akin. Sabi ko, wala kang karapatang magsalita kasi ako original. Lahat kayo galing sa akin.
At yan ang Bandera Chika natin today. Thanks, Neil.
Maraming salamat, Ervin. And these are the stories you need to know today. I'm Neil Mercado. Catch Inquirer Today live weekdays at 6 p.m. Follow INQUIRER.net on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Reddit. For more stories, visit INQUIRER.net. Good evening.